Hi, so I'm gonna tell you my life story. Is it okay if the audio of this goes on the internet?
Yes, it is.
Alright, cool. Alright.
Does that computer work over there?
Yes.
I'll wait until...
Okay.
Okay.
Password is smart.
Okay. Alright, so...
Thank you.
Here's my life story. How do I begin? Sometime on Halloween in 1982, somewhere in New York, my mother went into labor. Several complicated hours and a blood transfusion later, I was born as the surviving half of a set of twins. Oddly enough, I was an easy baby to deal with once I was out. Often sleeping and seldom crying, my mom said baby me was a piece of cake compared to my older sister. Usman is the name that was chosen for me, though in the Nigerian Yoruba tradition, I wasn't officially named until I survived life for 7 days. Up through the summer after the 6th grade, I lived a fairly normal life, attending Graham Elementary School, and then Pennington Grimes in Mount Vernon, New York, where I got good grades and began tinkering with computers and programming, thus initiating my path towards nerddom. Playing drums in the school, marching in jazz bands, sang in the chorus, played baseball in the local leagues, and fell in love with every girl. Then I discovered theater. Though the young, overweight, bespectacled me evoked images of a chubby Steve Urkel, I somehow managed to land the lead in a children's community theater production of Godspell, introducing into my life a new diversion that would later evolve into a hobby and eventually bloom into a full-blown passion. Having caught the incurable theater bug, I would be involved in a production somewhere at least once a year, every year, from that point on until I finished college. Hold that thought. Of course, there was more to life than that. Other than braces, bizarre teachers, and bad decisions, the hormonal penal colony of middle school wasn't much to speak of. For me, high school was a defining time in my life. Fretting about recent incidents of violence in my school district, my mother decided to send me to a private Catholic school in New Rochelle called Iona Prep. There I did well as a student academically, and I also immediately joined all of the extracurriculars I found even remotely interesting, most of which were co-ed with the all-girls school down the street, purely coincidentally. Throughout my 4 years at the prep, I was involved in the school band, theater club, speech and debate team, varsity math team, internet club, African American society, martial arts club, liturgy band, and midnight runs, and many more activities that escape me at the moment. How could one tell one's life story without taking a lifetime to tell it? Here's the rest as highlights as fast as I can make it. Everyone was given an email account and internet access at my high school, which, along with the scene from the movie Hackers, eventually inspired me towards the field of computer science and the strong notion of going to MIT for college. Everyone in my school thought it was a stretch, including myself at one point, but by some miracle I got in. By then I was still confident in my abilities as a stellar student and continued to feed my thirst for extracurriculars with more theater, 2 bands, and several other non-academic ventures. Bad idea. Over the next several years, I worked harder and harder to make it through the torrential wake of the fire hose method of information saturation employed at the Institute, taking breaks as needed, eventually managing to graduate with a degree in computer science and engineering, sneaking in a minor in theater, and eventually started a job as a software engineer at a startup back in New York City. Really, my 2 main passions of software development and performance come from a core passion for creativity, as in creative thinking and creative doing. Regrettably, all my activities related to theater and music creation have ceased completely in the last few years of my life. Don't get me wrong, disappointment hasn't entered the picture. Everything's pretty good all in all, especially the last week of my life, which is a whole other story. Rarely does anyone get a chance to do what I've been doing these past 9 days, or even to tell one's life story. Really, I appreciate that you listened to me for this much. Good. Thank you.